Are you a stay-at-home mom looking to lose weight, but you're not exactly sure which type of weight loss plan or journey or style or method you're supposed to go with? There's so many options out there and it can be overwhelming. So in today's episode, we're going to discuss a few of my favorite go-tos or methods for weight loss. My name is Morgan Vermouth. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys ages 5 and under, and I run a health and wellness business from home. It can get a little hectic sometimes, but I'm really passionate about learning simple ways that I can improve my health and help others to do the same. If you are curious more about what I do, or maybe you're just looking to join a community that you can row in the same direction with other women that are like-minded and on the journey to better health, then I want to invite you personally over to my Facebook group for moms. We focus on subjects around your health and your mindset so that you can feel your very best. I am a firm believer that if you feel your very best, you can live your very best life and live up to the calling that God has called you to live up to. So if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and click on the link below. I'll attach it in the description so that you can find the group, request to join, and I will approve you shortly after so that we can get you started on a journey to a healthier and happier you. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right into some of my favorite methods for weight loss. There are a lot of different ways to losing weight, so I'm just going to touch on a few of the ones that I have tried, share a little bit of what I've experienced on each of these methods. And I'm not an expert by any means when it comes to knowing all the ins and outs of each of these. So I hope it could be more of a brief synopsis for you. And if one of them stands out more than the other, then you can pursue learning more about it and figure if it's the right avenue for you. But to start us off, you might see me looking down at my notes. I just want to make sure I stay on track. One method of weight loss that I have done before is intermittent fasting. And it was definitely very effective. Intermittent fasting is when you only eat within a certain amount of hours within the day. So maybe you're doing, a lot of women will do like a 8-hour of eating and then 16 hours of well, I said that funny. You're not eating for 8 hours straight. That is not how you're going to lose weight. So let me clarify that. 8-hour window that you can eat within, and then a 16-hour window that you do not eat. You can drink water in that 16-hour window, but you're not consuming food or any form of sugar or any kind of stimulant that's going to hit up that metabolism. So the beauty of intermittent fasting is it can throw your body into a fat burning mode. I'm not familiar with all the terminology, and I don't even want to attempt it since I don't know exactly how all that works. But I do know that I've done an 8-hour, 8 and 16-hour ratio of eating and fasting. Another recommendation for women that are intermittent fasting is you can do a 10-hour and a 14-hour. So 10 hours of window where you can eat within those 10 hours and then 14 hours that you don't eat. I tend to see more people that want to lose weight do the 8 and 16 ratio, but I think for women, they have said that maybe it's better for 10 hours. Again, you might want to research that a little bit more, but that's just a little bit of what I've heard. I do know that I found it to be effective when I was working on losing weight a few years ago. I have not done that approach more recently, and the reason being is that when I am pregnant, I am diabetic. I tend to have gestational diabetes. And what I found with intermittent fasting is that I could eat in a smaller window of the day, but I tended to eat like 2 really big meals and maybe a small snack in the middle. And so maybe it wasn't really big, but I did have bigger proportions when I was intermittent fasting, and I could get away with it because I essentially was not eating a third meal somewhere there. Like I would start eating at 11 a.m., eat my first meal of the day, have a mid-afternoon snack, and then eat my dinner. And I would do that all before 7 p.m. And that's great. The benefit to that was I was done eating by 7, so there was no late night snacking, and that helped reduce bloating and definitely helped with the weight loss journey because, you're not eating right before you go to bed. But I was eating those bigger portions. So what happened was, as I was intermittent fasting, and then I got pregnant, and so I nixed intermittent fasting mainly because because I was dealing with morning sickness. And so I wanted to eat kind of more throughout the day and not just in a small window of time. I don't know how intermittent fasting and pregnancy go together, like if you can do that safely or not. So I'm not even going to attempt to talk on that one. But yeah, so I found that I was in this big habit of eating really big meals in a smaller window of the day. But then I was also dealing with morning sickness. So I was like eating a small morning meal, then a big meal, and then another big meal, and that mid-afternoon snack. And when I started struggling more with my blood sugar levels because of gestational diabetes, it was hard for me to break that habit of eating big meals, because with diabetes, you tend to need to have fewer carbs, not necessarily fewer. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that. You just have to monitor how many carbs you're eating at certain times of the day, like to keep your blood sugar regulated. So that leads me into the other form of dieting that I have done. It's the diabetic way of counting your carbs. And so with pregnancy, I think I did like a 60 carb breakfast, and then like 30 and 15. I don't know. I think within a day you had to eat like 150 carbs. So I'm not going to try to, oh, sorry, my laptop's right here. It's on my lap. Anyway, hello, you're getting the real Morgan Vermouth here as I tell you and break down everything I'm doing as I'm shifting and crossing my legs and all these things. Okay. Anyway, back to the subject. Counting carbs was pretty effective for watching my sugar levels as a diabetic when I was dealing with gestational diabetes. And like I said, going from intermittent fasting, where I was eating bigger meals in a smaller window, to having now to watch my carb intake. So now I'm like eating smaller meals throughout the day. It just felt like they were almost opposite approaches. They're both effective in their own way. So I can't necessarily say one's better than the other. I think it really just depends on you. But that's something to keep in mind. With carb counting, you might be eating a smaller portion, but more throughout the day. So it's kind of more regulated, like just around your day. Whereas with intermittent fasting, it's easy to be tempted to eat bigger portions in a smaller window. So, and maybe that is not even the right way of intermittent fasting. Maybe I just did it wrong all along, but that's what I struggled with. So you might just need to do it based on your personality too. What's gonna be successful for you or help you succeed. The one that I've really been doing, I'm looking at my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. After I had gotten pregnant again and had that baby, I decided that I just don't know that I want to get back on intermittent fasting, because I do have a trend to eating really big portions in those smaller fasting or eating windows. So I decided to try a different approach. This is something that a business coach of mine actually recommended to help just optimize your physical health and be a better performer. He recommended that you just watch your calories. If you have a calorie deficit in your day, you're going to lose weight. And that's what we're talking about, is different weight loss approaches for moms. I think the con of calorie counting is that you could theoretically eat a lot of unhealthy foods as long as you stayed within your calorie count. You're like, well, I didn't overconsume my calories, but I ate like 2 ding dongs and some fried chicken, and that's all I had today, but I didn't exceed my calorie count. So you're going to have to use some self-discipline there and know yourself, know your strengths and weaknesses. Do you feel like calorie counting is an option for you because do you feel like you can incorporate healthier foods that aren't going to be as high in calories, and that way you could eat more throughout the day versus having to only eat like a couple ding dongs and a donut, and that's like it for the day because we're so high in calories. I hope that makes sense. So some people are not fans of calorie counting because of the temptation to just eat unhealthy food and just make sure you stay in your calorie count. Now, in full disclosure, I have definitely had my days where I'm like, you know what? I really do want the ding dong. So I'm going to eat the ding dong and then just cut back on something else that I'm eating today. But it's not healthy to do that all the time. You will feel hungry because a ding dong is not going to hold you over for very long. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. know if that might be a good approach or not for you. Then last but not least, when it comes to weight loss approaches for moms, is supplementation. And like I said, I run my own health and wellness business, and I do have a really good quality of supplements that I offer to my clients. You can go through life without them for sure, but I've just found that it's really improved the quality of my life and has helped me in my weight loss journey. The reason being, it's not because I'm like sitting there taking a bunch of like weight loss supplements, because, you know, as a mom, if you're nursing, you can't always do that. That's not always an option. Weight loss supplements don't always go well with nursing or pregnancy. And, you know, we're moms here. We might be in a season that we're trying to get pregnant. So we don't want to take something that could jeopardize that. But what I have found is with the supplements that I've chosen for me, is that they help with my gut health. And when my gut health is in a good state, my body is more likely to be functioning at its prime and most optimal level. So we prioritize weight loss because a lot of times we're about looking the way we want to look. But the thing is that your body has needs on the inside, and your gut and you know, your organs and your bodily systems need certain nutrients for it to really thrive. And if it's just in a state of havoc, it can't always thrive, and sometimes that could even prevent weight loss, is because your gut is just so unhealthy. Your body is constantly just like not wanting to shed weight because it's just constantly playing damage control. You know, so when your gut is thriving, other systems in your body start to fall in line. Your insulin starts to regulate when you target your gut health. Your hormones start to regulate when you target your gut health. Your stress level goes down when you have a good gut health, and the healthy hormones and healthy chemicals of your body, like serotonin and oxytocin, go up when you have a healthier state of your gut. And so when these hormones fall into line, that also helps with your weight loss journey, because you know, if your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, is really high, you're going to feel really stressed, and then you're going to want to eat more junk if you are an emotional eater. Sometimes I definitely have fallen into that, so no judgment from me. But I have just found that when I target my overall gut health, everything else tends to balance out, and my body is ready to start losing the weight because everything else is already taken care of. I hope that makes sense. So those are obviously I didn't cover everything today. I know there's like keto diets, there's the carnivore diet, there's a lot of other things out there that you can do. These are just 4 approaches that I have done in my own life and different seasons, and they have each worked for me for the season that I did it. So I think it's just really finding what's the best method for you. What are the needs that you have in your life? Are you diabetic? Do you need to maybe watch your carb intake? I feel like for me, my favorite combination is to watch my calories, and then I take the supplements that help my gut health, so that I'm setting myself up to lose weight properly. And then I'm also just like letting the calorie counting keep me in check, because otherwise I might think, oh, I worked out today, so I can just like eat all of this right here because it's not going to matter since I already burned those calories. And sometimes I might just overconsume a snack. And I'm not saying don't treat yourself, because I do allow myself chocolates, and, you know, and like I said, I do allow myself to eat a ding dong every now and then. But for some reason, I just find it easier to track my calories, because when I'm exercising, I can type that in my phone and kind of figure out how many calories did I burn. And then if I'm counting calories, then it's easy math for me. So that has been what's worked for me over the last year, is healthy, good quality supplements that are all natural, and pairing that with watching my caloric intake. So I hope that helps. I hope that maybe that gives you a good starting point of where to begin in your weight loss journey. And if that's something that you are really serious about, and you want to join other women who are on the same journey as you to better health and better mindset, then come on over to my Facebook group. Like I said, I'd love to have you over there. The link is below, so go ahead and click on it, request to join. I'll approve you, and then we can get started. I can message you even myself, and we can discuss maybe which option might be the best one for you. I'm not an expert, but I definitely do have some experience here, and you can tap into the little bit of knowledge that I do have. I'm happy to help you. So anyway, that's all I have to share today in this episode. I hope that it's been helpful. I hope you've gotten some value out of it. Until the next time, you take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.